Welcome to TradersArmy.com, defending your right to build wealth and preserve capital for generations to come.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I'm your host, Chuck Fulkerson. Hope you all had an amazing trading day yesterday. We are down a little bit this morning after breaking to a new all-time high yesterday in the S&P. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get the alerts and the updates as they happen. So let's go ahead and dive in. So first of all, on the ES, we're down a little bit this morning. Yesterday, we had a breakout long that triggered for a little bit of a move, but we started to see some basing up here after the breakout occurred. So since the breakout occurred, we had to take our stop and move it. One of the updates, for those of you that are a Traders Army, one of the updates is basing at the current levels, we should look to move the stop in to lock in a small profit at 30.33. And the reason that we did that was primarily because of the fact that we saw all of this basing occurring. So didn't get a huge profit out of that move, unfortunately, because you just didn't have the follow through on the breakout. No big deal. We're still take a little bit off the table, but you've got now more opportunities down below us in the case of a pullback. So the first one I would look at is this area right in here, which is the origin of this large move up. Now, my problem with this area is, are we getting a little bit of basing in front of it? And the basing that we're getting in front of it might scare you off of the zone, this little basing we've got right in here, but you still may get a little bit of a reversal coming out through here. So give this one a go, but just make sure that it offers the 2-to-1 reward to risk. If it doesn't, you're going to want to maybe turn away from that. Next would be the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ also, we had the breakout in that trade as well, kind of coming down. If you really want to give a short an opportunity, you certainly can look to maybe on the 15-minute level, maybe this little reversal area up here. I would say that we're still probably a little too close to the all-time high to be looking for shorts in the S&P or the NASDAQ. If you're more interested in a short, the Russell's probably your better market because you're nowhere near the all-time high in the Russell, although the Russell's coming to, on the 15-minute chart, a really decent strong move up through here. So, if you wanted to do a short, I think the rut is the way to go. The NASDAQ and the S&P, probably not. Both of them have better reversal points a little bit lower. Crude oil yesterday, we had a little bit of a potential opportunity for a breakout, but remember our rule on basing. We needed basing somewhere in this region. We didn't get it. The basing actually occurred down here, right where I said in yesterday's video that if it bases in here, that's too far. We needed the basing closer to this level. And this is, you'll hear people out there say, well, this is a failed breakout. I would disagree. This is not a failed breakout. This is not a breakout. Because it didn't follow the rules for a breakout. And that's one of the mistakes I think a lot of traders make in the world of breakouts is they don't understand all of the rules. And so where they would call this a failed breakout, we would call this a non-event. That's this little circle here is the area where I anticipated needing the basing in order for me to take the entry and the opportunity. So I think this level is still valid for a breakout if price comes back up into that range, but we sold off really hard yesterday from that level. And now I got to be looking for where's a decent, reversal candidate. I'm going to come up here to right around the European market open and look at this area right in here as a potential. That's right at the European market open, which is typically a good reversal time of the day. If I look at it on a 15-minute chart, it might be a little bit easier to see. It's not, my only fear is that it's already been kind of tested once, but I think it's a quality enough level for us to be willing to give that one a shot if we get a reversal back up into here sometime today. And I wouldn't be surprised to see price reverse back up into here on some sort of a short covering rally. We do also still have a 15-minute level down below us. On our 4-hour trend, we are not technically, we haven't broken our upward trend because we don't have a higher low, or excuse me, a lower high at this point. So the downward trend isn't confirmed. So we could easily see this level below us act as a potential reversal point. It's with all these upper wicks there. Gold, we had a move down from this level here. This looks a lot like a head and shoulders pattern. This one unfortunately didn't give us Same thing with our basing rules. We needed our basing rules for entry on this piece. So unfortunately, it didn't give me the rules for an entry on a short of this basing. We did get our confirmation long down here off the 15-minute level. So looking at our 15-minute level on the confirmation long, we've got to also take into account our 6 candle rule, right? So we hit the level, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles later, you move your stop to break even, and you had really not a whole lot happening. But remembering that oftentimes after a 6 candle rule stop out, which doesn't really cost us anything, it's typically a break even, that then becomes a breakout candidate. So we broke down from that level. That's actually the exact trade setup that I want to look for. And now as we are heading into the morning, we've put in a really nice speed candle that I think we could see a retracement back to the origin of this speed candle. So if price comes back up into here, look there for a potential move down. In our bonds, so looking at our 10-year note, we had the breakout did occur in the bond market. So we had the basing in front of the level as required, and we got the breakdown inside of that zone. And then price has kind of based around and moved back up a little bit from there. So looking at that, what I would say is, do we have another opportunity for the next leg down? If I go to a 4-hour chart, we have a pretty clearly defined downward trend. We've got some demand coming down into here, but doesn't come in for a little while. You might even consider the candle to candle short on a 4-hour time period. I think a candle to candle short on a 4-hour time period makes a lot of sense at these levels. You could also just get short at one of these levels up here. What I'm going to do is wrap my lines around this little wick over wick area, which I think could serve as a decent reversal on the hourly time period. Now remember, yesterday we had a lot of currencies that were just chopping sideways, waiting on Brexit news. Potential breakdown never gave us any solid entry on this piece, but I think it's still got a lot of potential in it if we base in front of it. We put in these 2 upper wicks here, which is a pretty strong reversal pattern. So let's see if that continues to go down and gets us to our breakout area. But other than that, I don't have a whole lot of levels to lean on. In the euro, we are sitting still above our potential euro breakout area. So if we're basing now in front of that level, so this could serve as a pretty decent little breakdown from this point in the euro. And then the Canadian, we did get a little rally off our Canadian level, but once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you took a little bit off the table, that one actually worked out for a nice little trade. If you didn't take anything off the table, then your 6 candle rule has moved your stop to break even, and you're still in the position. I would probably take a little bit off at this point though, and I'm going to remove that level. Going forward in the Canadian dollar, what other trades do I have? Well, we are setting up for a potential breakout above this line here going forward. So look at that level up there as a potential. All right, moving over to the pound and the yen. So our Brexit news about the extension to the deadline has caused the pound to do the same thing it was doing yesterday. Whole lot of nothing. As we're just kind of still chopping around. Could be a potential breakdown below this blue line, so keep an eye on that as a potential area. Could we break up from here too? Yeah, we could break up from here as well. But I'm going with the 4-hour trend giving me a slightly lower high and a lower low, and that's why I'm looking more to the down than I am to the up. And then the Japanese yen, we came and touched our level, but haven't really done anything off of the touch of this level. So I think that this level's no longer going to be valid and hasn't stopped out, but it does set up for a little rally back up into here. So keep an eye on this area for the for the rest of the day. So hopefully this sets you up for a couple of trades for the day. If you've got any questions, please send us an email. We'd love to hear from everybody who checks us out on the YouTube page. Send us an email, support@tradersarmy.com. Until tomorrow, everybody, have a great day.